Turkey season?
It's good. All right, Chuck.
All right, we are back on Open Line. I tell you what, we're getting ready for Southern Woods and Waters, and so you don't want to miss that. Stick around for that.
Fun.
All right, we are asking an expert this evening. Not a lot of time left. Ask the attorney. We're talking with Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm, going right back to the lines. And Carol is on the line with a follow-up question. Carol called a little bit earlier. Carol, we're glad that you called back. What is that follow-up question?
I wanted to ask about the availability of ERISA lawyers here in Tennessee.
Okay. One of the things, anytime you have a question with a specific law, you can call the Tennessee Bar Association and you say, I have a specific question, and they usually have a group of lawyers that does specifically that kind of work. So that's great. Look them up, call information, Tennessee Bar Association, and they'll give you someone to talk to.
All right, Carol, thank you so much for calling back in. Going right back to the lines, Karina is on the line with us. Karina, we're glad that you called in this evening. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
I have a question.
Okay.
I was trying to find out, January 14th, I got a ticket. I'm a bus driver. I don't want to say what company I'm with. I'm not with a county. I got a ticket. I mean, I didn't get the ticket. I didn't get cited. I was hit from behind in my bus. I was sitting at the red light, and the lady was going over to the left side, the driver's side of the bus, and hit the rear. I didn't even realize she hit it until she came up and told me. That's how minor it was.
All right.
But we called the police and everything. So I'm finding out when I was doing a renewal for my own personal insurance, they went up because they said that I was at fault in the accident. I was not at fault. I wasn't cited. So I went downtown and picked up my police report.
Yes.
But the police report do show at the bottom the statement that the officer put. The way he explained it, I was sitting at the light, just like I just told you.
Right.
So in comment, it shows she was at fault, but on the report, it don't state. So I did contact the police officer. To make a long story short, he stopped me through, I think, 5 different lines. I was trying to find out how can I get this straightened out.
Right.
Finally got to the police officer. He told me I needed to go to, on Hart Lane, which is hard to get in there.
Right.
It's very hard. It's so busy. So I'm trying to find out, how is it so easy for them to mess up your license and to make you at fault when you're not? And how can I straighten that out without having to really take off from work?
Well, that is the million-dollar question. It's just like someone steals your identity. How are you going to straighten it out? You're going to have to make phone calls. You're going to have to pursue. You're going to have to write letters and show this was a mistake. And if you can get to the right people, they'll correct it right there. And if you can't, you have to just keep going up the chain. So the squeaky door does get the oil. In Tennessee, we have the law known as laches. Means if you sit on your rights, you can lose your rights. So I'm just telling you, keep pursuing it till you get that corrected, because it'll have insurance ramifications for years.
Okay, so Karina, thanks for calling in. Good advice from Kevin. We're going right back to the lines right now, and Ann is on the line with us. Ann, good evening, and do you have a question or a comment?
Question.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
All right, Ann, go ahead.
Okay. I was wondering, I have got a question. I was working at a hospital back in '09, and I had an accident, and I fell in the kitchen. I was a kitchen employee, and I fell, and I ended up having to have back surgery. And after I had back surgery, a week later, I had to go back and have it done again, where I contracted 2 staph infections.
Yes, I'm aware. Go ahead.
I was under the doctor's care and everything like that, and I would go to him weekly, and he would tell me if I was in good shape to go back to work. And he kept telling me this and kept telling me that, and I was still in his care in September. I went back to work, and I explained to the kitchen manager that I could not work a full 8 hours. I could just work and not stand up. I could work 3 hours or 4 hours. And I worked one day like that and went in the next morning for work, and she come out and she said, if you can't work 8 hours, we don't need you. And that was in May, and I was in the doctor's care until September, and she fired me that afternoon.
Well, we've said before, there is a law against retaliatory discharge. When you're hurt on the job, that falls under a workers' comp. And usually when you've had surgery, that makes a significant case, because there's going to be a disability that comes with that surgery. And so if you can prove that they came in and fired you because you made a claim and you couldn't do the work, and then you have a separate lawsuit against them. So tomorrow, you can open the phone book or call the Tennessee Bar Association and find some lawyers that specialize in workers' comp and go meet them immediately.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ian. We're trying to get to a couple of more calls before we run out of time. So right now, we're going back to the lines. Greg is on the line with us. Greg, thanks for your patience. And do you have a question or a comment?
Yes, sir. I got a question, and I appreciate you taking my call.
Sure, glad to.
My mom was in the hospital in the city I live in. She had gone to the doctor forever at the same facility. She sees whichever doctor is available, but she sees one doctor mainly was her main doctor. If he wasn't there, she would see somebody else.
Okay.
Impacted. The doctor put her in the hospital. He knew for several years that her fragile body, she couldn't take any kind of high dosage of any kind of potent pain medicine. She never did take it. I went with her to the doctor before. I was there with her while she talked to him and told him, of course, I don't take pain medicine, blah, blah, blah. So she goes to the hospital, and guess what they give her?
Pain medicine.
Worst pain medicine anybody can get if you're not a cancer patient, fentanyl. The fentanyl put her like a zombie. Before the hospital, she drove her car to the grocery store, to other places. She was 86 years old and drove all the time to church. After that incident, she couldn't drive anywhere.
And sorry to rush you, Greg. We're just about 20 seconds for the wrap up on that question.
And basically, yes, if it altered her life, she's got a claim and can pursue it because her quality of life has gone down because of their negligence.
Okay, Greg, thank you so much for calling in this evening. We do appreciate it. We're going back to our lines. We just have about 30 seconds left. Joe, do you have a quick question that you could ask in about 30 seconds?
I have a friend that works at this company where the company is so messed up that it's got 426 complaints, several lawsuits for discrimination and rape case. And the company is still doing the same thing. Only time they change is when the camera's in their face.
Yes.
How can this problem with this company be fixed where they stop treating employees like slaves on a plantation?
Okay.
All right.
Well,
We'll try
first,
to answer this in 20.
You know, we have the Tennessee Department of Labor. You can go file a complaint with the Tennessee Department of Labor. They can likewise come in. You can file EEOC complaints, and they can bring state investigators. What I always tell people, if you're in the middle of that, document. Let people take their photographs and make notes. And somewhere down the line, that's going to come to a stop. It will not be tolerated.
Okay, thank you so much for your call. We do need to take a break. We'll be right back to wrap it up on this edition of Open Line right after this.